What's up, Hunter? How's it going? Your question was how to throw shots with speed, but not necessarily hard. It's a good question. It's kind of a simple answer, and it's also complicated at the same time. So the idea of speed and precision and power is really important when it comes to these sort of combat sport things that we do. The ability to hit somebody matters. Being able to hit them accurately matters, and being able to do it fast matters. The amount of force for our game is pretty irrelevant, right? You just need to be able to hit them. And so the mechanics of how we do that are what's super duper important. And it's going to pretty much add speed without having to add too much force. So, for example, we've got Bob, we've got me, we've got a sword, and, we're here. What I want to do is hit him with speed. I'm in my stance, I'm kind of here. I can project everything forward, like my shoulder starts to move, my elbow starts to move, my wrist maybe a little bit, just, everything kind of moves. Boom, boom. I do a little hip there, boom, boom. That still hits fairly firm, pretty quick. The problem most people are having is they're doing something like this pullback, and then they're throwing. They're doing something like this, and throwing. I can do that, which is much faster. And that's sort of the problem we get into, is that people feel like this is going to be fast. And they're doing this. That's pretty quick, but is that slower than that? That's the idea. So mechanically, I can still do everything quickly from here without having to do all the extra crap, all that extra buildup. Mechanically they don't look much different, but there's a pretty big difference from this position and sending my shot, whether I'm turning my hip and throwing it or throwing it here. Notice I'm not pulling my arm back, I'm not pulling my shoulder back, I'm here. I'm able to throw all of this without a whole lot of distance. And it's not slow, it's pretty fast. Okay, so there's enough demo stuff. So the idea here is, if you feel like what you're running into is that now you're not hitting very hard, but you feel slow, it's mechanics. It's learning how to throw the shot from this amount of space. You're plenty strong. There's no reason. This isn't like a strength thing. Like, goodness, Lily's so strong. I was fast before, right? I'm fat and old, so. So the idea is just about the mechanics of being able to throw shots in this distance, and that's all it really requires. It just, I don't know, it doesn't take that much. So being able to do this with my elbow, this little punch, easy peasy, same thing. When I'm doing my hip, same thing. We start adding extra pieces, whether it be my hips, my shoulder, or whatever. It's all very fast. It's not too overdeveloped. And at the end of the day, if I want to double up, it's easier, right? Part of the speed of like how this is going to work is I've hit them, it's reset. I've hit them again. Boom, boom. Reset. Boom. 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 That still had some force to it and is fairly developed, right? But it's not back here. You can throw that wrap. You can throw the wrap from way back there. But somebody with a good defensive foundation is probably going to see that. They're going to watch it develop. They're going to see this motion, this roll, and this throw, and they probably block it, right? When you're right here, that's pretty crazy. It can still be a big angle without necessarily a whole lot of development, yeah? So my encouragement to you, now that I've rambled about this for 4 minutes, is to think about how you are throwing your shots sort of mechanically. Are you pulling back? Maybe you don't realize that, like, I'm going to chop them. Are you doing this and then chopping them? Are you just chopping them? Are you just dropping your sword on them? Are you pulling it back? Are you turning out to chop them? Are, like, what's happening? Like, why Are you feeling slow? What's going on? Now, those are the questions to ask yourself while you practice, and I would encourage you to make sure that if you can fight, fighting is great, but it sounds like you might have some time well spent just taking a half an hour to work out like the mechanics of how you throw your shots. We're asking you to sort of reinvent the wheel here so that you are hitting with good, precise, speedy, intentional shots versus throwing a bomb. Last time I watched you fight, it basically led to you threw a good bomb. If you killed them, excellent. And you killed a lot of people throwing, these bombs. But when you fight an opponent who didn't get hit by the bomb, they then hit you like 4 or 5 times, right? Objectively, your opponent isn't faster than you, if you remember the fight I'm talking about. Not saying that they're slower, but there's no reason for you to get hit 4 times to your 1 shot. So what's happening, right? So these are the things to ask ourselves. Next, you can work on pelling some of these things, doing some drills for it. And they're pretty simple in the grand scheme of things. It's as simple as understanding I want to get into whatever stance, and I can throw whatever, put myself in a good position, and being able to throw from whatever position you want to be in, whatever stance you want to be in. That doesn't really matter. I just want to see you start getting mechanically this, and then how many shots can you fire? Can you throw 3? Makes sense? I'm not having to pull back very far to still generate that force. That's still plenty of force. Doesn't take very much. Hell, the weight of your arm will do it. Yeah, it's just one of those. So I could harp on this for a while, but some of the homework is where you're gonna get your most profit out of, I guess. So sit down, try a couple shots when you get a chance, and this will be good. It'll just take a little bit of time, and that's okay. So once you, if it would be helpful, make a video of you trying to throw all the shots that you think that you know how to throw. Basically sword side shoulder, board side shoulder, sword side hip, board side hip, and just generically chopping and like whatever, just like a little compilation of those shots that you feel confident with. Do them, and if you're bonus credit, do them however you like to do them right in this moment, and then do them with the intention of making the mechanics of your shot less developed or less big. Try to shrink that down so that you're able to just kind of do these things, right? And that'll be really, really cool. If you want to shoot it to me, excellent. We'll take a look at it and see kind of what's going on. Maybe I can give you some input by seeing what's up. If we're at an event soon, we can talk about it more in person. It'll always be better in person. And ultimately, just try to figure out how to do this. It'll be good. Okay, anyways, I'm kind of rambling, gone in circles. Good luck. Hopefully this is useful. Thanks, buddy. Bye.